Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to be looking at the two most expensive brushes I've ever bought. That's the Radial Rocker and the Radial Lite, both from Lichen. I've had these brushes for a few weeks now and I've been using the Radial Lite a lot to get used to it, to see what it's like. I don't think it's any good just using it a couple of times and then saying yes or no. You've got to use it for a while. The Radial Rocker I have only used once so far. I've bought that for specific jobs and I have used it, and we'll have a look at it. We'll have a look at the features on both brushes and I'll tell you what my first impressions are. To start off with the Radial Lite, it's a very short bristled brush and there's sort of only 4 rows of bristles if you count the outer ones, and 2 very short ones in the middle, which you wouldn't think were much good. It's got the over the top rinse bar with a John Guest push fit fitting on it to fit your pole hose, and it's got this really nice swivel on it there. I've been using it on my over 8 pole, and all you do to make it fit your over 8 is undo the gooseneck and put the bottom part of your over 8 gooseneck on and then just put it back together, and that works really well. When it came with just a Euro thread gooseneck on it, so if you've got a pole with a Euro thread on the end you can just screw it on, but as I said, I've been using it on my over 8, so that's the easiest way of doing it. The body of the gooseneck is hard anodized aluminium and looks really well made, so all the different parts of the brush can be swapped out. You can order the central brushes, you can order the brushes that go around the outside, the bumpers, the rinse bars, the whole lot can be swapped, so you don't have to buy a whole brush if one particular part wears. As I said, the bristles in the middle are really short. Now the reason for this is, with most bristles, some are slightly different, but with most bristles it's only the end of the bristle that actually cleans. So because these are so short, when it's pushed onto the glass, the bristles in the middle stay straight and they're a very stiff bristle. So you've always got, and the outside ones splay up and the bottom ones splay down, but it's just the ends of the bristles touching the glass. So you've got a very good scrubbing power with those. So the Radial Lite isn't designed for every job, it's designed for maintenance cleans basically. But I've been using it for quite a while now and really like it. It's got really good, because I said of those short bristles in the middle, really good scrubbing power. I found it particularly good on bee pollen and fly poo, that sort of thing. It does scrub really nicely. Now, one of the things that, if you follow the Radial way of cleaning or the Reach It way of cleaning, the idea behind them is that you don't have to go over and rinse a second time. The last thing that touches the water, if you use their method, is the rinse bar, is the jet of water coming from the rinse bar on the window. So I found that actually works really well. You do need your flow high to use it, but I haven't found I've used any extra water because I haven't spent ages rinsing. As I said, it gives a really good scrub as you do it. The way I've been doing it is slightly different to the Radial method, but it seems to have worked for me, is I've used an up and down motion, and the last one, scrub it up and down, the last clean, just bring it down gently, and as you come down, this pushes, the bottom part pushes any dirt off the window. The glass, even with hydrophobic glass, it does seem to turn it slightly hydrophilic, and it does come down in a nice sheet. And it does wash everything down, so you're not spending ages rinsing, but it's no good if you're going to spend ages scrubbing then spend ages rinsing. You need to speed up the way you're doing it, and you do need to have a high flow. I've been using, as always, on whatever brush I use, I normally have my flow at 80 because I do like a lot of water, but as I said, I don't think I've used any more water than I do with any of the other brushes I use. So when you order the Radial brushes or the Reach It brushes, they come direct from their factory in China. They come, this is the box for the rocker, in a nice plastic box. If you want to keep it, you can keep your brush in there and it'll help keep it safe in your van, all boxed up. Now as they're coming from China, direct from their factory, I thought these are going to take ages to turn up, and it didn't. It was really quick delivery, took less than a week to come, and so yeah, fantastic service there. One other thing I like about the Radial Lite is it is really light. It's about 350 grams, but it's nice and solid, there's no flex in it. I've got a short ovate pole, and I've been using that this week. I've got a whole day on a mobile park home, sort of big caravans and chalet type things. With the short pole, I think that opens up to about 8 foot. With that, you've got a really nice light setup, and on the caravan windows, it works really well. This doesn't work on all windows, I will say that. It's not a one brush fits everything. If you've got very deep frames, sort of the small, I think they're called Georgian windows, where you've got lots of little windows, they're set back. Not perfect for those, not very good for painted windows, especially if they're not a very good condition, because being so aggressive, it does scrape paint off if it's a bit flaky and a bit loose. But the majority of jobs and your maintenance jobs, I've found this to be an absolutely brilliant brush, and I think it has sped me up a little bit. So anything you can do to speed up, that's the best thing. So we'll have a quick look now at the Radial Rocker. Now, if you've never seen one of these, a bit different to what you expect. Once again, you've got the hard anodised aluminium backing. You've got more rubbery bumpers on the end of these. These are quite nice rubbery bumpers. You've got the flexible swivel gooseneck. Again, you can easily change it over to fit whatever pole you want. It does actually come, both brushes come with a toolkit, and in that toolkit you've got everything you need to service the pole. Basically, you've got a screwdriver spanner, and that fits onto the back of the gooseneck, so onto the back of the swivel, so you can have that swivel as tight as you want. If you want it really stiff, if you want to lock it into place, just tighten it up with that, and if you want it really loose, in between, however you want it, you can do that by just tightening up with the spanner, the screwdriver that comes with it. You've also got Allen key, you've got a little jet cleaner there, you've got looks like some spare bits and pieces in there. Oh, they're little rinse bars that come in there as well. All sorts of things come with that. I think this must be the one for the Radial Lite, with those little rinse bars that fit on it. So looking at the rocker itself, it's got the 2 rows of bristles around the outside, and then in the middle it's got this flat velcro pad, an industrial velcro pad that actually rocks. And the idea of this is you fit individual pads onto it depending on what job you're doing. So ever so easy to fit. Some of them will just velcro on, like that white scrubber pad you've got there, and then others velcro on, but you've also got a little stretchy rubber sleeve that fits over the end just to hold it in place, like you got on that microfiber one there. Now the idea of this is, once again, you scrub in with the end of the bristles, so the ends of the bristles is always in contact, so you haven't got a lot of depth between there, but the pad that you've got on it, because it rocks, as you go up the glass, the pad rocks, so this pad is always kept flat on the glass. Now this isn't, again, going to work on every window, but I've bought this for a few specific jobs that I've done. I've done a little short of cleaning a gym that I do, and it's always covered in pigeon poo and seagull poo, so that's the one job I've tried this on. Now normally it takes quite a lot of time and scrubbing to get it all off, and I put a bit of washing up liquid on it and scrub, and you're always left with bits that you might need to get a scraper off to get the odd lump off. Well, when I did it this week, I used what they call the cheese grater on it. Now this is quite a coarse wire wool, almost a stainless steel mesh. So I used that on it, and that fetched it off really, really well. You'd think it would scratch, but it doesn't. There was no problem with scratching the glass. Of course, you've got to be careful. If you've got a tinted glass or a coated glass, you've got to be careful with that. Whatever brush or whatever method you're using, you always need to use a bit of common sense. But that cut through the bird poo, so I think next time I'm not even going to be putting any washing up liquid on it. I think this will really speed it up. And the rinse down was really nice as well. It really sheeted as it came down the glass. It worked really well. So with these, once again, you do need a very high flow. You've got your rinse over the top rinse bar across the top there. Again, I had my flow on 80 and it worked quite nicely. They're designed for a bigger hose. They're designed for their high flow hose, so you've got quite a big inlet there, so your normal pole hose won't fit into it. But it came with the little adapter there. Just push it in with a John Getz fitting and your pole hose fitted straight into it, so it worked really, really well. A quick look at the different pads that it comes with. So you've got your ordinary white scrubber pad, like your scouring pad you might have for washing up. You've got a melamine, I think it's called, which quite often known as magic sponge. Now these are really, really good on builders cleans. If you've got a lot of silicone on the glass, that's about the only thing that will fetch silicone off. You've got a bronze wool pad. Now that's a really nice fine bronze wool, quite loosely fixed to it, so I haven't used that yet, but it'll be interesting to see how well that works. As I said, you've got your cheese grater, which is looped stainless steel, and you've also got a stainless steel mesh, basically a stainless steel wool, and that is again nice and soft. I should imagine that would be very aggressive. Now I haven't used this yet. This is one they call blue metal. Run your hand over it and it doesn't feel that much, you know, that's aggressive, but you can just feel it. It's just sort of like when you maybe had a cat lick you, know how a cat's got a very rough tongue. It feels like that when you run your finger across it. And they say this is their most aggressive of their cleaning ones. Again, I haven't had a chance to use them all yet, so I look forward to trying that. My brother's got one of these as well that he's bought, and he said that's very good for getting lichen off solar panels. That's what he's used. You've also got a microfiber one, so it's very dusty. That's supposed to work very well on very dusty, grimy windows. You've got this green one here, which is a green rubber. They call this the Hulk, and this is supposed to be very good. It's very grippy and supposed to be very good for when you have got a lot of bee pollen, fly poo, that sort of thing. It's supposed to be very good on especially on the bee pollen. That's what they recommend for that. And then finally, I've got this one here, which I have bought separately. This is a solar panel pad, and it's got these long silicone fingers on it. Supposed to be very grippy, very good for solar panels. So hopefully I've got a job in the week. Well, I have got a job in the week. Hopefully they'll let me film it, and with solar panels, and I'll be trying this on it, and I'll let you know how I get on with it. So that is all the pads. So overall, do I think they're worth it? Well, the longer I've been window cleaning, the more I've realised that not one tool fits everything. Or, you know, it's like if you're doing woodwork, you don't just use a saw, or you don't just use a hammer. You have a whole range of different tools. Now, these aren't perfect for every job. As I said, if you've got the Georgian windows, I've been using my X-Line brush with a centre rinse bar. If I've got a lot of Georgian windows, I've been using the flocked one of those lately, and I just swap over. I've got it on another pole. I just swap over and use that for that house with those windows. But on the jobs that you can use them on, Yes, they are absolutely fantastic. They've sped me up so much. As I said, this one was amazing. On the gym windows that I did, big windows. This is, I think this is sort of an 18-inch, and well, you got, as you can see there, I can't remember off the top of my head what the lengths are, but this is the bigger one, and it is quite heavy. This is, with the gooseneck, about 800 grams, 350 grams for the Radial Lite. But yeah, it is a really good pole. Sped me up. I bet I'll do the gym in half the time. So if you've got big windows, I've got another house to try this one on, and this is the reason I really bought that one, for the gym. And this other house I do is always covered in bee pollen. There's about 40 beehives next to it, and it takes me ages to get it all off. So it'll be interesting to see how well it works on those windows. I'll leave the website you can get them from in the description below, and you know, they are really expensive brushes. I won't take that away from it. They are the most expensive brushes I've ever bought, but they have been a joy to use. I have really enjoyed using them, and they've sped me up, so I've made more money. So thanks for watching. If you found this useful, hit the thumbs up button, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.